Welcome to the exciting world of Pappy's Art Ventures. The window to your imagination.
Hi everybody, welcome to Pappy's Art Ventures, the window to your imagination. On today's venture, we're going to learn how to make this cute little penguin using colored bakeable clay. So let's not waste any time. Let's find out what materials we need to make today's project. Here's what you'll need: black, white, and orange bakeable clay, sculpting tools. Everything you need can be found at your arts and crafts store. You'll also need an aluminum pie pan and a toothpick. Let's start by making the penguin's body first. You'll notice his body is somewhat pear-shaped, kind of like a fat bowling pin. I'm going to take the black clay and with my sculpting tool, shaped like a knife, I'm going to cut off about 1/3 of the black clay and use the larger section to mold the body. Put the clay in your hands and knead it. The heat from my hands will soften the clay and make it more pliable. Just keep working it, shaping it, using your fingers, just like so. I'm continuing to work it until I get the basic rough shape. And then I'll use my fingers to kind of finalize the shape and smooth it out until it looks like that pear shape you see in the picture. Now, let's sculpt the wings. By rolling the clay between my palms, I can create a round ball shape. Now I'm going to take this sculpting tool and roll the clay flat, just like so, back and forth. I think that's just about the right thickness. Now I'm going to take my plastic knife and be careful. Don't point it at anyone. I'm going to slice off 2 small sections, which I'll shape to look like the penguin's wings. There. That looks about right. Now I'll slice off another piece. Good. Again, I'm using my fingers to shape the pieces to look like the picture to the left. Now I'll shape the other one. There we go. Now we're ready to attach the wings to the body. I'm going to press them in place like this. And right where I'm attaching them, I'm going to smooth them out, right at the ends where they're attached. Just like so. Very nice. All right. Okay, now I'm going to turn it around and I'll show you how to make the tail. Take another small piece of black clay and round it like a ball. And with the tip of my index finger, I'm going to roll it on the edge. And that will create a pointed cone-like shape. Now I'm going to place it here and blend it in using my fingers to smooth it out so it all looks like one piece. There we go. That's his tail. Now, before I use the next color, which is white, I need to wash my hands with a wet towel or handy wipes. Just like that. You want to make sure your hands are nice and clean between colors. Now I'll dry them with a paper towel. There we go. With the white clay, I'm going to make a patch of white and place it right here for the white portion of his chest. I'll cut it just like so, and it won't take a very big piece. There. I'm going to flatten it a little bit, and then I'm going to roll it. Again, I'll clean the roller, removing any black clay that might be left. And wipe it off like so. I'm using my roller in a back and forth motion like so. Any hard cylinder shape would work to flatten the clay. You can also use a round piece of wood or the side of a smooth drinking glass. That looks just about the right thickness. You can see we need to shape it to look like my sample. Using my sculpting knife, I'll cut the white patch to shape. Remember, if you don't have any sculpting tools, you can also mold your objects by just using your hands. There, that looks like a good shape. It's starting to match my sample. All we need to do now is smooth out the edges. And I'll soften the edges like so. There we go. That looks good. Now I'll press it on the front of the penguin's body. And once I have it in position, I'll taper or flatten the edges down just like this. Great. Now I'm ready to make his eyes. Again, I'm cleaning my hands. It only takes a very small piece of white clay to make the eyes. I'll break this piece into 2 small pieces, and then I'll roll them into small balls. There. Now I'll position them right here. Take one eye and press it on like so. There. Now the other eye. That looks good. Now we need to make 2 tiny black dots for the inside part of his eyes. Again, I've cleaned my surface in my hands. Now we need to take our black clay and make 1 black dot, which I'll roll into this shape, and then I'll cut it in half. And these 2 shapes will be the dots for his eyes. And I'll round each piece. When I'm ready, I'll place 1 into position on one eye and round the other one and press it in position on the other. As you can see, it doesn't take very much clay at all. Cool. And now the eyes are complete. I'll be working with another color, so I'm going to clean up again. Now I'll make his feet. I'm slicing about 1/3 of the clay, like so. Put the other piece aside. Now I'll cut this piece in half, and now I'll flatten this shape and round over the edges on both pieces. When working with clay, your hands become a very valuable tool for molding and shaping. There. Now looking at my sample, notice the V-shaped notches on the feet. And again, I'll be using my plastic knife to do that. First, I'll cut them to the basic shape of the feet. Just like that. And now I'll cut the other one to shape. You can see how important sculpting tools are when making clay projects. Now the next step is to round over the edges, just like that. Now once they look the same, and they do, that looks good, we'll begin cutting out the notches. One here, like so, and another one on the other side, like that. Do the same to the other one, and another there. When I'm done cutting the notches, I'll just remove the scrap pieces and set them aside. Good. And we're going to round over the edges, just like so. Just to make them look smoother and soften the edges. Wonderful. Now set them aside because it's time to make the penguin's beak. Take a very small piece and roll it into a ball. Then using your index finger, just roll the edge to create a cone shape. Now take it and just press it lightly on the surface and it'll create a flat bottom. Here's where the toothpick comes in handy. Take and snap about 3/4 of an inch off the end of the toothpick and gently press it in position so that it's sticking out. We're now going to take the orange cone or the penguin's beak and gently press it onto the exposed toothpick like so. And the toothpick will help the nose from breaking off after it's baked. Great. Now carefully break 2 more pieces of the toothpick about the same size and press them into the center of the orange feet. Now place the body over the toothpicks and gently press down. Position it so it's balanced, just like that. Take a pencil and poke 2 holes for the bird's nostrils. Now we're ready to bake our project. Gently pry the project off the surface and place in the center of the aluminum pie pan. Preheat the oven at 275 degrees. Gently place it in the oven. Be careful, the oven is hot. If you're a child, baking your clay project should be done with adult supervision. Set your timer and bake for 12 minutes. Time's up. Our project is done baking. Carefully pull it from the oven and set it aside. Don't forget to turn the oven off and let it cool.
Check it out! You can buy this flat round piece of wood at your local craft store, painted white and hot glued in position on top. It makes a cool base.
Thank you so much for sharing today's lesson with me. It was a lot of fun making our clay penguin. And remember, you keep practicing, you keep drawing, and be the artist that you can be. Until next time, so long.